Hey y'all, I'm Kristen at Hammock Haven Farm, and we're out here on a sunny but really cold day, so I'm gonna make this short out here. We're doing a video today using some store-bought milk because we understand that not everybody's got a goat herd in their backyard. So I have bought several gallons of different brands of store-bought just cow's milk, and we're gonna go see how they set up and work in cheese. Let's go inside. For this, we are just going to use our 30-minute mozzarella recipe. So we'll put a link up here and down below for that, so you can go check out that video if you're actually interested in learning how to make that cheese. But it's an easy cheese for us to make without using any cultures, so it'll get us acidified really fast so we can just get this milk set or not set, as the case may be. Now, I tried to buy several different kinds of milk that you might find all around the country, not just things that I would find locally. So the first one I've got is Great Value. It's Walmart brand, and I've labeled a little chart with all my pots so I know what I put in each pot. The next one I've got is Barber's Dairy Pure, and I'm using whole milk for all of these. I picked up Aldi, and finally I got something I know is not going to work. I got Organic Valley organic milk. This is ultra pasteurized, and I know you've been warned about not using ultra pasteurized milk. I want you to see what it actually looks like when you try to use it. One thing I've noticed when making cheese with just store-bought milk is that sometimes even milk that says it's just pasteurized, not ultra pasteurized, has obviously been heated to a very high temperature, almost to ultra pasteurized temperature, and it won't set up and make a curd. I don't know what we're going to get out of these. We're going to try it and see what we come up with. I have the milk in the pots now, and I haven't done anything to them, but just making some observations. The Barber's milk is very white. It's whiter and thicker, creamier looking than the others. This is the Organic Valley, and it's kind of got a yellowish tint to it. I wonder if that's from them using more like Jersey cows or something like that, or it being grass-fed as well. This is the Walmart milk, which looks just a little thinner in consistency than the Barber's, although they're pretty close. And then this is the Aldi over here. And one thing I noticed with the Aldi, even though all these milks were just purchased yesterday and have a expiration date of at least a week away, this one had a little bit of a sour smell to it already. So I don't know what that means. Now I'm going to add the citric acid, heat these up, add the rennet. We're just using animal rennet for this, and we'll come back when it's time to see if we get a clean break and how this all sets up. All right, I'm a little disappointed with the results on all of these. I'm gonna start with the Walmart one. When I make this recipe with my raw milk, I'll get a couple of little curdles from that citric acid, but if you look at this, and really all of these, you've got just a whole lot of just these little curdly looking pieces. Let me grab a spoon. Here's a spoon so you can see what's going on. You see how that's like these curdly looking pieces and not just like a clean break? It's like each little piece set up differently. I'm going to try to cut these curds. If you see, if I touch it, it just, I guess underneath there it's a little more set. There's kind of this layer of these curdly things on top. I'm going to cut these into 1-inch squares and let them sit. Go on to the next one. Okay, this next one is the Borden milk, and if you want to go through, we've kind of got this layer of the little curdles on top of where it's set a little better underneath. It's still not as firm a set as I usually get from the raw milk. I guess I could try another 5 minutes on it. I'm going to not cut this one and wait while we talk on the other ones, and we'll come back and cut this one, give it a few more minutes. Now, this is the Aldi milk, and as you see, it has got the most of this curdle on top. It still kind of has an off scent to it too. Now the curd underneath seems to be set a little more maybe than that one. I'm going to go ahead and cut them and let those sit. see what we come up with. Now this one seems a little shocking to me. This is the ultra pasteurized organic, the Organic Valley. And you see on it that there's none of the curdle, which is interesting. And look, feel this. It's a really firm set on there. Now I'm wondering if after we cut this and try to stir it, if it's gonna break up into little pieces. But this actually looks more, I don't know, more set than any of the others. Now on it, it's not getting the whey on the edges like with a traditional, with the raw goat milk, where it will kind of pull away from the edge and you'll see the whey kind of pool along the edges. But if I go in and give it a cut, this, see that kind of custard feeling? It's a little soft, but it's a little more usual looking. I'm also gonna give this one another 5 minutes to set up before I cut it. So I'll be back in just a minute to cut these. In 5 more minutes, I'm gonna cut the Borden's one here. I'm sorry, Barber. This is Barber milk, not Borden's. I'm gonna cut that one. And then our organic, and on this one you see, I'm turning around so you can see it's starting to pull away from the edge, which is what typically happens with regular milk. But now as I'm noticing this, it does really look like it wants to fall apart. So let's cut our curds, let those set up for 5 minutes while we check the other ones. So I'm gonna check these that we've already cut. Let's see. Put the lid back on that. I cut this one over here first. This is our Walmart milk. I'm gonna give this a little stir. You can see the whey is really separating up under there, see that? And you still got this weird layer of these curdly bits. But the curds, the cubes underneath are a little more set up. I'm gonna give that a quick stir and see how much these break up as I try to stir it. And you see as I stir this, it just is wanting to fall apart. I mean, it just absolutely holds no form whatsoever. This is not good for cheese making. I'm gonna put the lid back on that and I'm gonna go through the directions to try to actually make the mozzarella out of this, but I'm not holding up much hope. I mean, this is really a mess. So I'll show you at the end what I came up with for all of these. Now, next one, I cut the curds on. I'm losing track of myself. I just cut the Borden's one. We cut the Aldi one before, so let me come back over here. And again, you've got this layer of whey with some little curdled bits on there. And these curds look like they're holding up just a little better when you stir. They're not quite disintegrating, but they're not very encouraging at the same time. You see, these should stay in clumps, not just fall apart when you just really gently try to stir it. I'm gonna say this milk is not good and suitable for cheese making, but I'll do the same with the Walmart and we'll see what we come up with at the end. I'm gonna say that none of the milk that we tried today will make a decent cheese. I'm gonna continue to try to get a mozzarella out of this. Whoopsie. I'll show you the results. I'm afraid we've got a whole bunch of dog and chicken food. I've decided not to waste my time and make this into cheese or even attempt. I'd love for you to go back to my mozzarella, the 30-minute mozzarella video, and see what the curd mash should look like at this point using real milk. Because this is just a mushy mess. This curd did not stick together in any way. It just did not set. I mean, this is not gonna make cheese. Over here on the Barber milk, same deal. I mean, look at this. It's just, there's no shape or form to this curd. At this point with raw milk, and even the milk I would buy at the grocery store when I started making cheese 10 years ago, you would have a curd mass at the bottom of the pot. I mean, even less than 10 years ago, I would do cheese classes where people would bring a gallon of store-bought milk and it would set up. I don't know what has changed with the temperature that they're pasteurizing at, the technology they're using. Something's changed and this milk is no longer suitable for cheese making. Over here to the Aldi milk, and this one still just has an off smell to it. It just smells sour. same deal. When I first started cheese making using store-bought milk, I had a friend in Canada, and I remember she would go out and buy milk and I would buy milk, and we'd do the same recipe, and she consistently had results like what we're looking at here. And we determined at the time that the Canadian milk was pasteurized, or must have been pasteurized at a higher temperature than the American milk. And I think what we're looking at these results is now our milk is being heated to the point where you're destroying the proteins in it. That these are not making any kinds of bonds. With the using pasteurized milk, sometimes it recommends it use calcium chloride because the higher temperatures can actually damage the calcium in milk. This is even beyond using calcium chloride. There is no kind of curd set here. Last pot here is our organic ultra pasteurized milk, and I will say that this one has the best smell to it. It's like it smells creamy and buttery and fresh and milky and delicious. But again, this is not curd. This is mush. I mean, this is actually more mush than the other ones, but they're all, frankly, they're all dog food. So yeah. So if I have time before kidding season starts and I'm overflowing with our own milk, I'll pick up a couple other brands and see if we can't get anything at all that will work. I'd be curious to get at least one brand that you can buy locally that'll work. If you have any, if you want to make cheese and have any access to fresh, farm fresh milk, and especially like, you know, raw or just lightly pasteurized, where they only heat it up to about 135 degrees for 45 minutes or so instead of heating up to like 190 for 30 seconds, you might want to go that direction. You're going to get a much better product. Thank you guys for watching. Please take the time to subscribe, and we'll be back with more videos real soon.